Kenyans are keen on an electoral body that is democratic, transparent, and accountable in both internal and external operations, and that enjoys the full confidence of our people. Even those who believe that last year's elections were credible will agree that there are problems with the IEBC and its own credibility. The so-called mix-up that led to postponement of gubernatorial elections in Mombasa and Kakamega last year is itself a manifestation of a problem with transparency, accountability, and professionalism at that body. When we as Azimio went to court over presidential election results, Smartmatic, the provider of election technology, shocked us with a declaration that we could not access the server because it would compromise its other operations. Indeed, it went against a directive of the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court. They said they couldn't do that. That says a lot about the kind of deal IEBC got our country into. As a country, we have in the last decade tried to embrace modern systems for collection, collation, transmission, and tallying of election results. We have adopted results management systems that combine traditional vote counting and tallying processes and use of technology to verify voter eligibility, register voters, and transmit results. We have modified electoral laws to allow political parties to independently tally the results. But as we have witnessed in Kenya, both in the 2017 and 2022 technologies getting compromised and results altered. This has severely damaged the credibility of IEBC. According to the Gallup poll, the percentage of Kenyans who have confidence in the honesty of elections declined from 58% in 2015 to only 35% in 2021. And please remember, even as the results, controversial as they were, 8 million Kenyans refused to vote out of those registered. That should make it clear to everyone that we have to rethink IEBC, and in good time. Time is, of course, Morio, extremely of the essence. I submit that reconstitution of IEBC is a matter of grave national interest, and we should approach it as such. Another area under consideration at this forum is equally of great concern, not just to Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party, but to our country as a whole. The growth or otherwise of our democracy is heavily dependent on the kind of election management body we evolve and the rules we put in place with regard to financing of elections. In our country, as elsewhere, we have seen that democracy can be on trial, but it can also be on sale. Both jeopardize the stability and progress of the nation. We have to agree that as a country, we have a money problem when it comes to elections. Money is flooding our political system. In the university, we used to say money has been poured. Okay? Money is enabling only a handful of billionaires to decide who becomes governor, who gets in to be a county assembly representative or member of parliament, and even decide who runs and who eventually sits at the State House as president. There are millions of ordinary Kenyans with wonderful and revolutionary ideas, progressive ideas, I call them, on how we can take our country forward. But those people are being locked out of politics or leadership because they have no capacity to raise massive campaign cash, make massive financial contributions. Indeed, we are seeing a resurgence of Harambee once again. They make massive financial contributions to political parties or candidates. They hire high-priced lobbyists, campaign experts, and lawyers that tilt the playing field in their favor. And so, such people sit back and become spectators because they see the democracy being on sale to the highest bidder. They see the system is already rigged by the moneyed. It gets worse when finances come from outsiders and with unknown and undeclared interest in the leadership of our country. This kind of development decreases the political participation that is a requisite part of our attempt at being a democracy.
I'm honored to be here today with all of you to be part of these critical discussions towards finalization of key electoral legislations. While we have made commendable progress with regards to various laws and regulations, and ensuring that these laws are in place, as we discussed yesterday, there are still various gaps that exist in a number of these legislations. For example, the Election Campaign Finance Act. We also heard yesterday that there is lack of a comprehensive law, rules and regulations to regulate the boundary delimitation process, as well as a comprehensive law that would guide the conduct of referendum. We hope that Parliament and all of our stakeholders will prioritize enactment of these laws in a timely manner. We are encouraged to see the collaborative approaches that have been used so far, bringing all the various stakeholders, including all of us who are here today, to discuss these very important issues and also to consider all the divergent views and interests. Timely enactment of electoral laws and any other laws not only facilitates the work of all institutions that are involved, but it also promotes public participation and citizen engagement. And this is a critical component, and it's entrenched in the Constitution as part of our national values. Public participation in the review of laws and providing input enhances ownership, it enhances compliance, and it also helps in ensuring that voters are well enlightened and informed, the voters as well as the candidates. With the funding from USAID, ELGIA has been supporting consultative forums and technical workshops with various key stakeholders, including the one that we are having today. So as a partner, USAID is committed to continuing to support this process, and we look forward to continuing with this engagement. Thank you very much.
I'm honored and I wish to thank the Electoral Law and Governance Institute, ELGIA, for the continuous efforts and commitment towards realizing a robust legal framework for the electoral process in Kenya. It is commendable that you have taken time to identify and analyze the legislative gaps in the electoral process, including the enactment of the referendum laws, the laws on delimitation of boundaries, campaign financing laws, and two-third gender bill. This consultative forum is timely and affords all the relevant stakeholders to play their role in the enactment of a robust legal framework. In relooking these electoral laws, it is my desire that we adopt an approach akin to post-legislative scrutiny for the comprehensive review of the laws. In a bid to strengthen democratic governance through dialogue, mediation, and electoral reforms, allow me to commend ELGIA for their continued efforts in bringing together all relevant stakeholders to participate in this crucial process. Our presence here today as JLAC signifies our commitment to attaining a formidable electoral system. The legislative process derives from various factors, including consultation and public participation. It is for this reason that I wish to acknowledge and applaud the stakeholders present here today for your dedication in this cause. As the legislative arm of government, the National Assembly plays a significant role in the reform process of electoral laws. It undertakes this duty through Departmental Committee of Justice and Legal Affairs, which is mandated to consider issues relating to elections, including referenda. Therefore, as a member of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs, and a key stakeholder in the electoral political governance space, It is my desire and that of the National Assembly continues to foster the strategic partnership between it and other sectors in the governance sector. Now more than ever, we must have solidarity and shared responsibility in this journey to promote good governance. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this being a multi-sectoral gathering geared towards strengthening electoral laws and governance, I wish to draw your attention to Article 89 as read with Section 2 of the 5th Schedule of the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission Act 2011 with regard to the protected constituencies which cease to exist in the next 5 months of the transition clause on the boundary delimitation that last concluded in 2013 and did not extend the protection to the next delimitation unless the law is amended. This issue is a political landmine. It's a constitutional and electoral crisis in the making. Not to mention that there are about other 40 constituencies which have not reached the population quota of 164,014, thus facing extinction. Bearing in mind the volatility of the Kenya general elections and further delay in the appointment of IEBC commissioners in the name of having a dialogue will throw the electoral process system into a national disaster. Hence is my kind appeal that even in the bipartisan talks continue, the appointing panel be allowed to undertake its mandate, appoint the commissioners to begin the boundary delimitation process and address the fate of unprotected constituencies. Otherwise, it will remain a ticking time bomb.
I'm looking forward to really working with the Electoral Laws and Governance Institute of Africa, because we have a lot that we are working on. Very soon, we are going to bring out that report, the GLA, the Government Legislative Agenda Document, which has never been done anywhere. This is the first time we are having the State Department for Parliamentary Affairs in the history of Kenya. And I think it is the first one in Africa, if not in the world. So going forward, we are not, the vision of the State Department is to ensure that all that needs to be worked on in terms of the legislative framework or the policy framework is done early in advance and is channeled to Parliament early in advance to ensure that the National Government Development Agenda is actually implemented. We have a vision to ensure that these key legislations that we want to develop doesn't land at Parliament the 5th year of an administration or the 4th year of an administration, because that will not actually serve the purpose. Our objective is to coordinate all these legislations across the ministries, state departments, and agencies to channel them to Parliament within the stipulated time to enable us to deliver to the people of Kenya.